Hello, everyone. My name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 25th, 2022. And this price action that we see throughout the crypto markets is a sight for sore eyes. We haven't had this in quite some time, okay? We've been preparing for this for months, yeah? And if you have also been preparing for this as I have, then congratulations. It's happening, right? Your preparation, your accumulation, your work, and your suffering, whatever you like, is finally bearing fruit, okay? The market has turned around, okay? I called the start of the bull market on October 13th, and since then we've made higher highs. Not in every asset, but in Bitcoin specifically. Now, that being said, I think there's a high degree of probability, nothing's ever 100%, but a high degree of probability that this trend to the upside, this impulsive trend to the upside, not like a staggered, not sort of like a corrective move up, but like what you're seeing right now in your face, this kind of price action that's just, it's not out of control impulsive in that, in keeping with the adage, if it's fast it won't last, if it's slow let it grow. It's a controlled impulse, but it's an impulse nonetheless. It's very clearly an impulse, okay? And it comes when we expect it to come. We're expecting the market, if it's going to turn at this point right here, right? And complete this W reversal on the higher time frame. We're expecting for the market to turn when the DXY is dumping, okay? Finally, breaking support from this consolidation right here and creating an ABC flat correction from the highs at the top of the ascending wedge, okay? So this is everything that we've expected, and we're expecting all the while Bitcoin dominance to fall as it's falling right now, right? Breaking this ascending wedge, as you see here, to the downside, heralding alt season, where altcoins gain against Bitcoin. All of this has been expected. If you're following my work, if you're following my analysis, you'll know that these are things I've been expecting, calling for, right? Technical analysis isn't magic. I couldn't tell you exactly when it was going to happen, but I've definitely been calling for accumulation at these ranges, and I've been taking my own advice and accumulating massive positions, right, at these ranges. Massive positions for the purposes of just letting them ride for the bull market. I have zero intention of trading after this. Zero intention, right? This is literally the bottom of the market. All of my assets have been, kind of accumulated, and now, if anything, I'm restructuring trades, pulling out margin, putting trades into, putting stops into profit, right? So, practicing risk management, essentially. And that's it. That's it. And I'm not, executing another trade for many months as this just grows. So this is a great time. This is a great moment. It's been a long process of accumulation here. I know this is just about 160 or 180 days or whatever. Let's measure it. Well, in Bitcoin's case, it's about 130 days, 4 months, but wow, what a long, treacherous, grueling 4 months, right? When you're checking prices every day, we're here every day, looking at price action, trying to read what's going on and figure out, you know, how to trade this market, accumulating positions, defending positions. It's a lot of work, right? People may think that trading's easy and you just buy and you get lucky. Yeah, some people do. But it's been very challenging reading and trading this market, right? And when I say trading, I haven't been trying to trade short-term things, or, you know, some people even at this point are selling. You know, imagine that. Imagine selling at the bottom of a market just because you have a 15% pump, you know, right? No. This is me just letting my wins ride, right? And not financial advice, but I think that it would be wise to do the same. You know, at the bottom of the market, just let it ride. Don't try to, you know, nickel and dime yourself by selling into strength, what you perceive to be strength. Just because we're at the bottom of a bear market or at the beginning of a bull market and you see a 10% double digit increase and you're like, oh my god, I haven't seen that before, and you just sell at the first resistance, that would be silly. So, you know, that's just a bit of strategy talk. Now let's get into a little more specifics into you know, what Bitcoin is doing. So let's drop down into the hourly time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. This is exactly what we said we were looking for yesterday, okay? If you follow the work, and I don't know that many people do at this point, given that it's a bear market, and, you know, given the past few months, it's just been tough. You know, people have tuned out, and I definitely understand. But if you've been following the work, you'll know that this is what we call a zigzag, okay? A 5-3-5. It's a 5-3-5 formation. It's a 5-3-5 setup, and essentially the extension of, so this is a flat correction, right? The extension of C tends to be around 1-to-1, okay? It doesn't have to be, but it tends to be 1-to-1. So if we were to measure that out, you would see that the length of this is about where you would expect your first significant resistance to be, which is exactly where we hit here. At about 20,004, okay? And this is what we said yesterday. That was the target given this formation, okay? So the target of this zigzag has essentially been hit, okay? And what you can see here, and I think it's more clear now, let's just restructure this really quickly. Let's restructure it. Here we go. Okay, you can see it a lot more clearly now. It's just 5 waves up, 3 waves down, right? Respecting the 0.618 of this preceding 5-wave structure. And then this right here was a pivot, okay? And that pivot actually broke down a little bit further than a lot of people thought, but it's just a pivot. It's still 5 waves up, 3 waves down, and then 5 waves up. So from this pivot, you could see 1, 2 is in there. I would say it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think what you're getting here is an extended. It's hard to count, but this impulse essentially is one impulse that is a 1-to-1, right? We're gonna zoom in a little bit more and see if we can't count this, just for the sake of, you know, trying to keep our Elliott wave skills sharp. But so let's zoom in there for a second. But for now, just to say that you've hit the target, okay? If you're trading Bitcoin on a small time frame, which I don't understand why you would, but if you were, okay, this is when you would take profit and do expect a retracement of 3 waves, right? And this is actually another reason why you want to count this, because having understood what this impulse is, then you can really have a better understanding of what to expect in the retracement, right? In this retracement. If indeed this is the end, and that's assuming that this is just 5 waves up and that this resistance is wave 5. Okay, that's another reason why you want to try and go on the smaller time frames and read this movement right here, because it'll tell you a few things. It'll tell you, one, if we're at the resistance and this resistance represents the entirety of this move, or it'll tell you if this resistance is just an intra-wave correction and what you can expect is a lot more movement. So we're going to look at that, okay? We're going to look at that. But essentially, just, using pattern analysis, this is the 1-to-1. We measured this. 1-to-1, reached, target hit. Boom. Okay? So let us have, before we continue and go down on the smaller time frames on Bitcoin, let's just have a quick peek at Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance broke down, seems to be bouncing a little bit. I once again believe that this is just, what you see in an intra-wave rally. In intra-wave correction. Like, the trend has already been established. This is a downtrend, and nothing goes in a straight line. What you're going to get are, intra-wave corrections, as you continue the trend. Let's have a quick look at our momentum indicators. Okay, the momentum indicator seems to be double bottomed on the hourly time frame for a move up. On the, let's see, the 4 hourly, it's also bottomed, bullishly divergent. 15 minutes. Okay, looks like it's bounced significantly right here. Okay, it looks like it may be putting in a wave 2 correction. Okay, so you should probably expect 3 waves up to the 0618 of this, because that just seems like a significant bounce right here. So this is your initial break of structure, targeting wave 4 of the previous trend. Probably going to come down and then come back up and find resistance here at the 0618, which also represents all of this price action. So I think that's what you're doing, something like this. Boom. Okay, so Bitcoin dominance is already, like I said, in that trend. 5 waves down, 3 waves up, 5 waves down. And what does this mean for those of you who are new, who don't understand why we're looking at Bitcoin dominance? Bitcoin dominance is a measure of Bitcoin's percentage of Bitcoin's market cap in the entire cryptocurrency market cap, and it only goes down when we're in a bull market. Okay, it only goes down significantly, impulsively, when we're in a bull market and other assets in the crypto market are gaining against cryptocurrency or against Bitcoin's market cap. So Bitcoin dominance going down is a good thing, contrary to what many Bitcoin maxis will tell you, who, I don't know why they don't understand this. It's pretty, straightforward. But it has nothing to do with your opinion on, these other assets or anything like that. It's just basic math, and it's basic charting. But Bitcoin dominance going down is great for, this is what you see in bull markets. So that's why we're tracking Bitcoin dominance breaking down. Okay, in case you're wondering. And in that same vein, we're also tracking the DXY, the market mover, which, as you can see on the high time frame, has finally broken down from this range right here that we've been in, okay, at the top of the B wave. And this is the beginning of the impulsive move down, okay? This is the beginning of the impulsive move down, purely impulsive move down, which should translate as the beginning of the purely impulsive move up in crypto, in Bitcoin. That's why we're seeing these moves, I believe, okay? And this is what I've been saying, right? And really interestingly, if you look at this breakdown, I mean, it's just you're breaking support left and right, right? This is one support that you're just about breaking now, okay? And this is the support of an M pattern. And what's this support right here? This dotted line, if you don't remember, or you don't, you're new to this channel, you're new to my analysis, on this chart, this dotted line represents many years of resistance, support and resistance, all right? Specifically, this dotted line started being a significant trend in the market, in the DXY, in US dollar currency index, in October of 2008. So that makes it a 14-year-old, right? 14-year-old. Yep, 14-year-old resistance now. Well, it's support that's becoming resistance, okay? You're breaking that support, okay? So right here, let's go back on the daily time frame. Right here, what happened was, in this impulse to the upside, you broke this 14-year resistance. You wicked above it, okay? You came down and you did your kind of your ABC consolidation reversal, or your kind of your distribution took place above that 14-year resistance, okay? And now you're breaking back under it. You're breaking back under that support of 14 years. So you essentially just wicked above it and you're coming back down, okay? So that's great, because what does that represent? Obviously, if you study the markets, you know that the higher the dollar goes, the lower risk on assets, Bitcoin, crypto, stocks go. But when the dollar finally comes down, finally retraces, that's when stocks, crypto go into bull markets, okay? And before we resume our analysis of Bitcoin and other altcoins, let's have a quick look at the SPX, right? So we use S&P 500 as an analog for, or as a as a proxy rather, for the traditional markets. And here you can see that we have our impulse in the traditional markets as well, 3 straight days up, okay? And here it looks like you have a 1-2 wave situation, and I said this before, 1-2, okay, 1-2. So this is wave 3 of this intermediate trend, intermediate degree, okay? So wave 1, wave 2, wave 3 should be, at the very least, somewhere like this, about here, okay? At the very least, about 39.48, right? So do expect this rally to continue before some sort of correction, okay? And I don't have any exposure to stocks, but we're just looking at this because if our analysis is, if our theory is correct, that when the DXY breaks down, then we see a rally in stocks and crypto, then that's why I'm looking at that, right? Kind of testing our thesis on that. Let's go back to, let's put this back where it was. Okay, great. So everything's looking great. I mean, Maurice says, Pump City, how low will the dollar go? And curious for you to check out Bitcoin Cash and SLP. Definitely we'll add that to the list. And by the way, activate the super chat so I can tip you. Maurice, I don't think I can activate the super chat yet because I'm not monetized. I don't have enough subscribers for monetization, unfortunately. But thank you for that. So let's add Bitcoin Cash and SLP before we forget. Let's see. So Bitcoin Cash, we'll add the V is kind of throwing me off. What's the or the N? What's the N for? That always confuses me. I know Satoshi's vision is SV, but what's the N? Is that the chart I want? Whatever. Let's see. Let's just add the Binance chart. Okay, Bitcoin Cash and then SLP with Love Potion. Let's see. Timex, I've never heard of that exchange. Okay, let's just add the Binance one as well. Okay, cool. So yeah, now let's jump down into a smaller time frame to see what's going on with Bitcoin. Okay, we'll just keep this line in moment, like just for now, just to represent. Well, no, we can get rid of it. Let's try and find out like what's happened and see if we can't read this. And this is, I tried to read this morning and I was just like stumped. I don't understand. And one of the reasons I do this live streaming is sometimes just when I'm on with you guys, I see things I didn't see before. So let's see if I don't have some kind of epiphany here. First things first, I did think, and I said this a couple days ago, that we were going to come down here, because that's what I expected. I expected something like this, and then a move down here at this midline, and then I would have considered this to be an A wave and a B wave, and then the impulse to start here. So it kind of caught me by surprise that we bounced from this level, because then I wasn't sure what to make of this. And why do I start with this? It's just because it's really significant. Given the retracement, the shallowness of this retracement, this must be the same. It must be the same impulse, right? This all must be one impulse. That's why that's important. Like, had this come down here to at least half or 61.8% of this, you could say it's an A-B situation, okay? But now, this is more than likely a wave 4 situation, okay? It's, wave 4, it's typically drawn out, complex correction. That's what I'm reading that as, okay? So that's my reasoning for this count that I'm going to do. Okay, let's go even smaller time frame to see a little more detail. Okay, and let's actually get rid of this. We don't need it right now. And what I want to say is this. This is tricky. Okay, you know what? Let's break it down from what we know, okay? Let's leave what we don't know till later, kind of like a puzzle. This is clearly a 5-wave sequence. It's very clean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the proportions work perfect, okay? So I'm going to keep that in. Okay, so I know what this is right there. And if I measure the retracement here, this three-wave retracement, I know it's not a 61.8% retracement, so it's not any situation where you're getting like a this is it breaks the wave. That's all I'm saying. It breaks the wave. If this were, that's another reason why this 5-wave sequence that we just identified and this all have to be one and the same, because if you go 5 waves up here and then you come back all the way down in such a in such a drastic manner, completely breaching the 618 the 618 phi ratio, then you know that is no longer impulsive. It's corrective. But just the nature of these breakouts, are impulsive. And they may be purely impulsive, just given our understanding of the context. So I would say that whatever this is, it's an impulse, and then this is the retracement of it. Okay? I think that is a likely read. Okay? It's just now try to make sense of this as being an entire impulse. And so that's what I was doing this morning. So I was thinking, okay, if this is a 5-wave impulse, typically what happens is you get a wave, and however long it takes, right? Because waves of the same degree are equal or comparable in time and in price. So if we measure the time this took, I think it's 2 days and 10 hours or 2 days and 11 hours, something like that. 2 days, 9 hours, yeah. And then you measure the time the retracement took, the 3-wave retracement that everybody thought was going to crash to zero. You see that it's about 1 day and 12 hours, okay? Well, the interesting part about this is, let's see. So if you take, and this is why I always say, waves of the same degree are not equal in time and in price. I say comparable in time and in price, and it's not always a one-to-one thing. Because let me show you something. So if you take 1 day, 12 hours, which is about 36 hours, yeah? 36 hours, and let's see, divide that by 2 days and 8 hours, which is 56 hours, yeah? Say 56 or 57 hours. You get 6.4, okay? So it's very close to the phi ratio, which is, we all know, 61.8%, right? So that's telling you that, when you're looking at the phi ratio, it's not just in price. Remember, when you're saying, there's some relationship between wave 1 and wave 2 in price, wave 1 doesn't retrace, or wave 2 doesn't retrace 100% of wave 1. It typically retraces about 61.8% of wave 1, okay? Or between 0.5 and 618. And here what you get is you're literally just touching, you just tagged the 0.5. So as you saw, I just pulled this Fibonacci retracement from the bottom, the very bottom of this move to the top, and you can see we just tagged the 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level before continuing up. Okay, so this is kind of a pivot, and then the impulse started again over here. So what I'm seeing is, I think this is likely in some way a wave 1, wave 2 situation. Although this didn't take the same amount of time as that. Sometimes, and I've said this before on the channel, instead of a 1-to-1 situation or relationship between wave 1 and wave 2, you get a 1 to 61.8%. Okay? 1 to 0.6, right? And that's what we're getting here. So I think in terms of time and in price, and just based off of, all of what we know, this is more likely than not a wave 1, wave 2 situation into wave 3. Okay? Before we move on to looking at wave 3 or reported wave 3, let's try and examine and break this down as a wave 1. Okay? And guys, I know not all of you guys are into the weeds, into Elliott wave theory, and really care about the analysis to this extent. A lot of you guys just want to know how high, when moon, all that stuff. But the purpose of this channel, the main purpose of this channel, is to not just share strategies for trading, but also how to read markets, and my expertise. I'll just say it, my expertise in Elliott wave theory. So doesn't mean I'm always right, but this is what I know, and I'm gonna share everything. So this is important because you have people, professional traders, or people who claim to be professional traders, right? Maybe they have day jobs, we don't know. And other people who take money for courses and all that stuff, they're selling this information, and they're seeing Bitcoin going to 6K, 13K, but on what data, what information? Everybody can have different opinions. It's not about the opinion. It doesn't matter right or wrong, but how do you substantiate that, right? Is your analysis sound? When I say sound, does it not, so you can have an analysis that's wrong. It doesn't matter if it's wrong, as long as it's sound, meaning you're not violating any fundamental basic tenets of any sort of, analysis. To really see Bitcoin going to 6K, 13K, I don't know what sound analysis gives you that kind of result. Okay, all analysis that I've seen with Bitcoin crashing down below 19.5 that we've held for, it seems, years now, is unsound. And that's from people who are given microphones on TV, who are given interviews on news outlets to be heralded or sort of held up as experts in analysis. So I'm not trying to belittle anybody. I'm just saying, if you want to make a lot of money, and you can stand to make a ton of money, if you want to beat inflation, and if you want to figure out how to invest in this market without just getting lucky, then it may behoove you, and you may benefit from actually wanting to learn how to read the markets. Okay, instead of trying to rely on somebody else's calls, rely on your own calls. And you're not always going to be right. It's unlikely that you're always going to be right, but you may be right a lot more than you're wrong, and that means you're going to be a lot richer than you were before you started that. Okay, because you'll have a good idea when to get in, when to get out, how to read markets. Okay, so that's why I'm gonna carry on with this. So please, if you're not interested, I'm sorry, but this I think is important, and this is kind of like the main reason for this channel. I don't sell anything on this channel. I don't have anything to sell. It's not monetized. It's for me and for you guys, and this is the way I'm gonna give back. Even if I make 8-9 figures, this is how I'm gonna give back. As long as I'm excited to do it, I'm gonna continue to do this. Okay. Okay. Here's what I see. On the small time frame, I'm seeing this right here as my wave 2 correction. Okay, it is what you would call a running flat. Okay, you only see these running flats. Whoops, right here, a running flat. It's kind of like, think of a slanted flat, where a regular kind of market would give you a flat correction that's horizontal, right? Running flats are when the market's really bullish, and it can't wait to keep going up. I'm perceiving that here in wave 2. And again, I'm just going to do a rough estimate. The time it took for us to print the beginning of, or wave 1, is about the same time it took to print wave 2. And again, you're meeting the minimum requirements of retracement between 382 and 618. So I'm just going to eyeball that. I'm not going to take forever to do that analysis. So I'm seeing wave 1, wave 2 up here. And so if we measure that out, right, okay, so that's wave 1. That's my wave 1. Let's say that this is my orthodox low for wave 2. You're not going to take this, but this as the orthodox low, right? So my wave 3 should be around 19,515, balance of probability, okay? Again, we don't know. But look what happened. And look, this is a high level read. When I say high level read, it means most people are not reading this. Even people who claim to know Elliott wave, they're not able to read this. It takes some doing. So here's my read, and look at that. Look at that. Look at what we got here. Do you guys see this? So if this is 1, 2, why did I pull the Fibonacci extension tool to the 1618? Or why did I pull the Fibonacci extension tool wave 1 retracement of wave 2? Because on balance of probability, it's not a given, but balance of probability, wave 3 typically hits between 1618 and the 2. It can be extended, it can be truncated, but typically wave 3 hits there. And look at that right there. We got a resistance right at the 1618 and a retracement that's characteristic of a wave 4 retracement. Okay, so that is a likely read. Okay, and then that would give you wave 5 in your and an ending diagonal right here. And this is a really nice read. Why? Because so if you eyeball your Elliott waves, typically wave 1 tends to be around the same size as wave 5. And that's exactly what you got here. Wave 1 and wave 5, same size. Wave 3 is the longest wave. Everything works here, okay? And then you even have your characteristic ending diagonal here. I love doing these live streams because I didn't do this by myself. It's by talking it through with you all and doing it live, I reached other levels of analysis, okay? So I benefit a lot from this. People wonder, why do you do this? You know, it's not for the tips. It's not for, you know, the monetization. I make plenty of money trading. It's because I love analysis. And this is actually what makes me all my money. This work right here, reading the markets and figuring out and seeing clearly and managing risk by, you know, having an edge on being able to read. Okay, so that's a 5 waves that I'm really comfortable with. And what threw me off, and probably a lot of people, is this wave 3 that is clearly a tricky wave 3 with this massively long complex wave 4. Okay, that threw a lot of people off. That threw me off. But at the end of the day, when you break it down on the small time frame, that's a legit 5 wave. That's a legit 5 wave impulse. Okay. Now, if that's wave 3, or sorry, if that's wave 1, and I'm quite comfortable saying that is right here the start of a purely impulsive wave, what we can do is just repeat the process. Take wave 1, wave 2, okay, that's the nominal low of wave 2. And let's see. I'm just going to do something really quickly. I'm just going to make sure that this is... Let's see. Boom, boom. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Let's do that again. So we counted this on the small time frames. Wave 1, wave 2, all the way down to the... This is actually both the orthodox and nominal low, okay? And then projecting wave 3, once again, wave 3 should project, you know, on the balance of probability to the 1618, between the 1618 and 2, and that is why this resistance that we're at, I would say, if I had to put money on it, is intra-wave. Don't expect a huge retracement from Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency market right now, just yet. Okay, just because it hit resistance, right, the 1-to-1 extension, and I'm going to zoom out and just, because people may have just hopped on, may not know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm expecting Bitcoin to come to these regions, to the 20,900, 21,000 region before a retracement of some sort. A more substantive retracement. Okay, and again, this is the bottom of a bear market, or the top, or the beginning of a bull market. So don't be surprised if you get an extended wave 3. But all I'm saying is that based off this analysis, this is the conclusion. I know a lot of people are just waiting. Just tell us what you think. This is what I think. Based off of all that effort, all that Elliott wave sort of calculation, I think Bitcoin does something like this. We hit resistance. We hit that one-to-one extension, right? Meaning the length of this right here. The length. Oh, crap. Okay. That's fine. Let's stay here. So the length of this. I'm a little confused. What am I looking at? Okay. That's not what I'm looking at right here. Okay. So this right here, and then I erased it, but we had a falling wedge, or a falling channel, right? So we should expect this to extend one-to-one. So right here, and that's exactly what we got. We got our target right here. Don't expect this to result in a massive retracement, a 61.8% retracement. No, not yet. I think this is intra-wave. I think what you're going to get is, this is maybe a wave 4 of this, and you're getting one leg up at the very least. Okay? You may get more, but I would expect some resistance here. You come back to this region, and then you continue to go up. Basically, what does this mean in other terms? And again, if your analysis is good, you can look at your prognostications. You could look at your theories in a number of ways. So that is according to Elliott wave theory. But now let's just look at it in terms of simple support resistance pattern analysis. Pattern analysis would say you're at resistance very clearly, because this is the top of whatever this is, right? This W. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to pop up above here, break the resistance, and retest it as support before continuing. Okay? And you're probably, given, if that's the case, going to put in an extended wave 3 all the way up here. That's my analysis. So basically, all I'm saying is, this is what you should expect in a bull market, right? It's hard to figure out when you're going to stop, and it's hard to get in, but you want to get in at support. Those are the best times to get in, whenever you see major support, and hide your stops below 61.8% of the previous impulse. That's all. Guys, if you got value, like, share, and subscribe. Would greatly appreciate it. It's not because I'm getting money from YouTube. It's just encouraging, I guess. Even if one person was spectating, I would still do this. I'm again, one of the main I'm one of the main people that benefit from this analysis. So it's great for me, and I hope it's useful for you. Maurice says, give me a wallet address where I can send some crypto. All right, let's see if we can't find a wallet address. I have. I'll post one. I'll tell you what, Maurice. I'll post one towards the end of the stream. I'll post one. So let's see. Okay, so that's what Bitcoin's doing, and I mean, this is consistent with what the DXY is doing, right? The DXY is continuing to go down. We don't expect Bitcoin to all of a sudden go down with the DXY because they're inversely correlated. Bitcoin dominance is also going down somewhat, right? Which is basically telling you that it's alt season, okay? Which is great. It's beautiful. Let's just, before we move on, let's adjust this for the extended wave 3. And this is the tricky part with these impulses. It's like there's all these extensions and tricky movements, and it just keeps going, right? If it's in a downtrend in a bear market, it just keeps going down. You don't know how. It's like putting extensions after extensions on the way down. Same thing happens on the way up, guys. Not everything happens, or nothing lasts forever. People, for some reason, have short memories and think that the past 500 days, 600 days, whatever, reflect the entire price action of crypto. That's not true. There's a time for drawdowns, there's a time for accumulation, sideways price action, and then there's a time for markups. We're in the period of markup, okay? And so it's just going to be marked up. But I think that what you're going to get here, Bitcoin, and this is the last thing I'll say on Bitcoin, is you're going to get the result of this breaking out right here, this W pattern, and that's going to give you the top of your wave 5 right here, okay? So wave 3 is going to end up here somewhere. It's going to end up here somewhere, maybe. Yeah. And you're going to end up getting your breakout, retest, and then continuation. Or maybe your retest is when you put in that wave 2 correction, but I don't know. This is why it's tricky to make entries in a bull market. The best time to make entries are at support, structural support, down here somewhere before you start running. But anyway, if you're buying spot, it doesn't matter, yeah? If you're buying spot, it doesn't matter. All right, let us see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's just go down the watch list. Let's go down the watch list. All right, Cardano 14% up, 15%. I mean, like, if this isn't bullish, then I don't know what is, right? That's awesome. And what it looks like here is that you got some sort of wave 1, wave 2 situation, and this is a wave 3. You're in wave 4 of wave 3. Then you get wave 5, then you get another wave 4, then boom, like it, something like that. Okay, but you're in pure impulse here, okay? And I did not do this, but let's turn on our volume indicator, and what we should see is volume spike. And indeed, that's what we see right here, a volume spike. Okay, this volume spike is indicative of the impulsive nature of this movement. Okay, you did get a volume spike here, but you got an even bigger one here, which is huge. Okay, so Cardano, huge volume spike. That's pure impulsive price action. And when you see volume spikes, you typically see them in wave 3. Okay, so I think what happened, like I said, this is wave 1, wave 2, and again, you have this running flat correction in wave 2, and then wave 3 starts, wave 2 of wave 3, wave 3 of wave 3, wave 4 of wave 3, wave 5 of wave 3, and then you put in a wave 4, so on and so forth. But yeah, you're impulsive. You're in pure impulse, right? If you've been accumulating, this is when you ride it. You ride it out, okay? Just for the next few months, I guess we just analyze, but we don't really trade, okay? Obviously, you can always try to make entries strategically at certain levels of support, but I'm all traded out, folks. I'm all traded out. I don't feel like trading anymore. I did all my work for the year, like a tax person. I just worked like a madman the past 100+ days, and I need a break. Is this a 0618 situation? No, it's not. So this is a pivot. I think wave 1, wave 2 somewhere here, wave 3. You got extended wave 3s, okay? Big volume right there. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And you're at clear resistance, but I think you put in a little bit of consolidation and you keep going. Okay? Ethereum. Let's see. So Ethereum started putting in massive volume, like the highest volume ever, right here on the 13th, when I said it's likely that we started the bull market. What's clear is this is not a 1-2 situation. It can't be, because this wave 2 lasts way too long for this wave 1, okay? But what's clear here is this is a wave 1, wave 2, right here. It starts. And then this goes into wave 3, which we just started, I believe. Okay. So that's Ethereum. Reserve rights. It's exciting. We're just at the bottom. We probably have, if we turn on our stochastic RSI, I'm sure you'll see some strong bullish divergence, but you have boom, boom, this nice W that's slanted downwards, right? Making a lower low. And now if you turn on the stochastic RSI, you do see, let's put it on the daily time frame. Yeah, you see that you're making a lower low in the stochastic, or on the price action, and you're a higher high in stochastic RSI. That's super bullish, super bullish. And the context for all of this on a high time frame is that you're coming off of a 3-wave move up and a 3-wave move down, pivot, boom. Okay, so that's a whole 2 degrees of AB basing. So that's awesome. Great volume here. Okay, and then the volume's kicking in, corroborating the move to the upside. Synthetics, volume hasn't kicked in yet. I mean, a lot of these things have yet even to break out on the high time frame. Like, these are small time frame. 5% is nothing. It's nothing compared to what we're going to see. But again, just like RSR, you got 3 waves up here, you got 3 waves down, you got a pivot, A wave, B wave, right? Zigzag pivot, and you're going up. This is great. VRA at the bottom of the market, all the way at the bottom, with massive volume spike right here. So boom, 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 right? Let's see. Do we see some bullish divergence? You have bullish divergence on the weekly time frame on VRA. Okay. Do you see that? You're making a lower low in price action and a higher high on the weekly stochastic RSI. You don't get weekly bullish divergence every day. So, I mean, great buying opportunities if you know how to read it. Great buying opportunities. Silica. Let's see. Silica. Silica. Well, definitely at the bottom, right? You've made support here before in the past in June. Now you're just back at that same region. Volume hasn't yet kicked in. And on the weekly time frame, let's see. I don't see any divergence. On the weekly time frame, but these are gonna pop, guys. These are gonna pop. You know, it's very, very, very interesting. Very interesting time to be exposed, to be paying attention. I mean, if you're paying attention, you're going to do very, very, very well. Anybody who's paying attention right now is going to do very well. It's going to be hard not to do well. Only ways you cannot do well if you're paying attention right now, the bottom of the bear market, where like a lot of people have tuned out, a lot of people, think crypto's a scam, a lot of people have given up on it. If you're paying attention right now, the only way you cannot do really, really, really well is if you sell too early. Like, for instance, whatever you invested in goes up 20%, and you're like, oh my God, 20%, right? Otherwise, if you just go away for a few months, metaphorically speaking, you just leave your investments alone, let them appreciate, you're going to do really, 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 really well. Like, better than you even imagined. So let's move on. So Vervain, this is one I hate watching on small time frames, but on the high time frame, it looks beautiful. It looks perfect. And you're even putting in confirmed bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. This is one of my spot positions. Okay, I would not even think about trading this on leverage or a margin. It's just way too, on the small time frame, it's way too volatile. But it looks great. Looks excellent. Falling wedge. If you look at it, just pattern analysis. Falling wedge. Boom, boom, boom. Again, this is the same pattern we saw in Bitcoin. This is kind of like your flagpole. This is the flag, falling wedge, and then you should expect a 1-to-1 taking you into this resistance right here. So yeah, that's looking great. Not good. It's looking great. Yeah, it's been a long time, guys. It's been a long time. This although it's just 160 days, right? What's that? Almost 5-6 months, right? It just felt like so much longer. If you're paying attention and you've been accumulating, you've been waiting for it, it's felt like an eternity, hasn't it? But this looks great. This all looks so good. Litecoin's already started, right? It's already started making nice rounded bottoms. Strong bullish divergence on the weekly. We're on the weekly time frame here. Look at that. Do you see that? You're getting confirmed bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. I think I looked at this a few days back and I didn't see it. But you're getting strong bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. You do not get this. Like, people have no idea what we're in for. People who have Bitcoin projected to 90K and like these measly projections, they have no idea. You have no idea. You have no idea the kind of positive price action we're going to get. No clue. Again, strong bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. You can see it right there. You're basically at the bottom that you formed, you've been in since June, okay? Nothing's changed right here. If you've been accumulating in this region, you've literally bought the bottom. And understand that you've had 160 days to accumulate these bottoms. People always say, oh, crypto's so complicated, it's impossible to buy bottoms and sell tops. No, it's not. On a high time frame, it is not at all. On low time frame, you're on the 5-minute chart, sure. You zoom out to the weekly chart where it really matters, right? Where you make life-changing wealth, generational wealth even, right? You zoom out enough, you can buy these bottoms, and these bottoms will last for, as you can see here, quite literally months at a time. This bottom in Dogecoin lasted 168 days. You had 168 days to buy the absolute bottom of the market. Here you can see very clearly you have 5 waves up, okay, and you have 3 waves down. And you have an accumulation, a consolidation reversal pattern. And then you resume with 5 waves up. You're literally buying the bottom of a market. So if you're exposed, you will do very, 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 very well. If you're exposed in this region, you will do very well. Even in this region, you'll do very, very well. Because it goes much, 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 much higher. Okay, Dodo. This one hasn't moved yet. Literally at the bottom of the market. And its bullish divergence on the weekly time frame has yet to confirm. It's not crossed yet. But this is coming. XRP, not yet crossed. Let's see. Okay, yeah. It's still taking its time. Still taking its time. Algorand. This one's about to cross. I got into this position a couple days back. Doing really, really well. But yeah, this is the bottom of the market. I also got into this position this morning, Telcoin. This is the bottom of the market, right? Very clearly. Take your, let's see. Is this, I'm trying to read this, one sec. I think it starts here. Okay. So this is the bottom of this 5-wave impulse. This is the top. And look where you are. You're at not only 160 days support, okay, of this consolidation reversal pattern, you're at mathematical support at the phi ratio, at the 0.618. I bought a few $100s of this. If this is wave 1 and this is wave 2, the projection of wave 3, that few $100s can turn into millions. No exaggeration. Obviously, to make that trade, you have to have the perspective, the patience, and the planning, and the insight to wait and let it run its course, right? Don't get too excited when that few $100s turns into a few $1,000s, right? Just let it keep going. And don't mind any retracements, interwave retracements, but let this wave 3 play out. Does that make sense? Like, you guys can make life-changing wealth. I hope you do good things with the money, and the money doesn't make you. You make the money, and you have a good plan for how to spend it. That's all I'll say. Bitcoin Cash. This is interesting. On a high time frame, it's made a lower low on a high time frame, okay? Meaning that it came into being, well, at least on this chart, during a corrective state, okay? So it's never really been in pure impulse, this asset. But here, I think you can clearly count. I think I've counted this before. A WXY situation, yeah? I think that's, or is it a double, maybe it's a double zigzag. In any case, this is the impulse down, and this is finished, and just as you have with most altcoins, you have a base of 150, 160 days that formed. You're at that base, okay? You're at that base. And here, kind of like what you're seeing with Bitcoin, you have a flag, pole, a falling wedge, and breaking that falling wedge yields an impulse that's about the same size as the flagpole, so a 1-to-1. Okay, and confirmation of that is going to be upon breaking this resistance, which we're at right here. Okay, so this looks really good for continuation to the upside. Looks really good. All of these look bullish, very bullish. Essentially haven't moved for weeks at a time. Smooth Love Potion, same thing. This is the bottom of the market, guys. Everything's at the bottom. Anything you buy now, pretty much anything, if you're paying attention, it's almost impossible not to make massive profits, because right now is such a fortuitous time for positive price action. Such a fortuitous time for to buy things at the bottom. Okay, and here again, you have a truncated chart where you don't have that much information, but you clearly have some impulse to the downside, and you have your 150, 160 days sideways price action that you're looking to break out of. Right now, we do not yet have, let's see. I would say yes, this is confirmed bullish divergence, strong bullish divergence on the weekly time frame. Okay, you see this throughout the market. Lower lows or even lows in price action, higher highs, or a higher low, if you will, a higher low rather, in this classic RSI. This is a great time to buy pretty much anything, right? The analysis is consistent. It's just is what it is. We've always said, if you look at the crypto markets and you use something like the DXY US dollar index as a inverse indicator, as a main indicator, because it's a market mover, if it goes down, crypto, risk on assets, stocks, S&P, NASDAQ, generally those things will go up. That's exactly what we're seeing in our analysis. It doesn't matter. There's no this is going up, but that's going down. No, everything is going up. Everything is poised to go up, and not just up a little bit, up a lot of it. So, it's a great time to be in the market, and these are the times where you just buy, and you just let it happen. You don't concern yourself too much with the small time frame or the small time frame price action. Obviously we can look because we're kind of at the base still and trying to figure out what's going on. But if you're trading, well, I'll just say this. If you're trading in and out, you're doing it wrong. I've done that before. You're doing it wrong. You're leaving money on the table, and you're stressing yourself out. You can make so much more just buying support and getting the hell out of your own way. So, yeah, I guess that's it. Unless anybody wants to look at anything else. I guess I could just call that a stream. Let's see if if you guys feel like making contributions, by all means. If you don't, that's also okay. I'm fine either way. Let me see if I can't find a public address. Let's see. I don't like when people give public addresses of things like Bitcoin where you're paying an arm and a leg just to send it to them. It's like, come on, bro. Like Doge or something like that. That's easy to send. That costs very little. I like that. USDT, especially on the Tron blockchain, that makes sense. It's like I'm gonna pay half of my contribution just to the miners. That sucks. So let's see. Yeah, I used to send Doge. I think that's a good idea. It's quick and it's cheap to send Dogecoin. Dogecoin. All right, let's get my Doge address. Okay, here it is. I'm gonna type it out. MB says, let's look at gas against USD and Litecoin against Bitcoin. All right, we'll have a look at that before we go. So here's my Doge address. Or should I? Maurice keeps talking about Bitcoin Cash. Let me put a Bitcoin Cash address because he always talks about Bitcoin Cash. Now I should be exposed to Bitcoin Cash. I don't have any exposure. Let me put a Bitcoin Cash address, right? Because I imagine that's one of the benefits of Bitcoin Cash. It's cheap to send, right? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to copy that. Okay, and I'm just going to I'm going to hide the screen for a second, okay? So just give me a second. I'm just going to hide the screen for a second. While I check something in my email. Okay. Back to our regularly scheduled program here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Maurice, I just posted a Bitcoin Cash address. I hope that is okay. All right. So let us continue with gas. I've never heard of that. MB says there's something called gas. Maybe that's new. I've never heard of it. All right, let's go. And then Litecoin, Bitcoin, Poloniex. So gas, USD. And then Litecoin, Bitcoin, Poloniex. Okay, so gas against USD. Okay, so just looking at this recently, this is quite simply a three-wave move followed by a three-wave move and then a pivot. Okay, let's go into smaller time frames. Let's erase all this. Let's go into the smaller time frame. Okay, and here we go. So that's a three-wave move right there. Okay, so that's corrective, and true to form, it was retraced upon correctively. I think like this. Okay, and if we measure that, we'll probably get a 786 retracement. So if we take this right here, not quite. Oh, it's probably that the top is maybe here. Let's see about a smaller time frame. Get a little more precise. Not sure that I'm pulling it properly, but this definitely looks like a flat correction, okay? And there are a few ways I'm thinking about the subsequent kind of correction, either as some sort of triangle. That's the first thing that I want to do, just because these three peaks are so regular. I want to say that's an A, B, C, D, E. 5, 3, 5, or no, that would be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay. And so breaking this would be it. In any case, all that you're seeing is I don't think there's much divergence here, but it is potentially quite bullish because it's just that support, right? When in doubt, just buy support. You're buying support. And given, I'm going to zoom out really quickly on the weekly. This is my first time looking at this. Yeah, you have a truncated chart. You don't have that much data. All you know that is that you're at some sort of support right here. And then there's another support. Whoops. There's another support right here. Jeez. Right here. Okay. So there's a support here and there's a support there. And if you take that, let's see. So this is the weekly time frame. Let's take this, whatever this is, if this is a three-wave move, or I want to say this is the start of the impulse right here. Okay, so yeah, if you take the start of this impulse, which is likely a three-wave move, right? You can see that this 1, 2, 3 wave move down is probably some sort of zigzag ended in May, right? Where most of our down trends ended, and then what followed was some consolidation reversal for 150, 160 days. So yeah, even though you don't have that much information on this chart, it's very closely similar. It's very similar to pretty much everything else that you're seeing in the altcoin market. 160 days of consolidation reversal, sideways price action. You came down and you hit a low, or what would you call it, a capitulation, if you will, on May 12th. And now it's time to break out of this. You're cross bullish on the weekly time frame. Do you see any? I don't see any bullish divergence on the weekly time frame, but cross bullish on the weekly time frame. You're at support. Daily time frame. Looks like you put in a corrective move up, right? Just as we saw, and then you retraced some. I would expect a move up soon, very soon. But yeah, just judging by, what's going on with the DXY, what's going on with Bitcoin, if that stuff is if DXY is going down, Bitcoin's going up, this is going to go up as well. That's just how crypto works at this point in time. Litecoin, Bitcoin, on the high time frames. Ooh, that's a nice pattern. Look at that. That's a really nice pattern. That's about to break out crazy. That's about to break out in a major way right here. Do you see that? This is a nice inverse head and shoulders. You're about to break the neckline. if you didn't already, because I'm being a little sloppy with that neckline. Let's see. You may have, okay, so what I'm seeing is this. What happened was left shoulder, head, right shoulder, breakout, retest. So you already did the breakout retest, right? Every move goes breakout, retest, breakout, okay? Any breakout, retest, breakout. So this is the right shoulder breakout, and then the retest happened in 3 because, you know, it's a corrective wave. 3 are flavors of 3. So you got 1, 2, 3. And again, that's a running flat correction. Now breakout. This is about a breakout. So that's what I'm reading on Litecoin, Bitcoin. Gas is Neo gas. So MD says gas is Neo gas. The Neo ecosystem runs on gas. That's a solid analysis. Cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. November, December timeframe, it's looking ready. Yeah. I mean, everything looks good. I mean, to be honest, it's not just Litecoin that's going to smoke Bitcoin. It's pretty much the rest of the cryptocurrency market, right? All of the altcoin space is just going to smoke Bitcoin, and that's fine. Bitcoin, you know, plays its role, has its benefits, but you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Litecoin seems to be starting to run, so everything else should take its run its course as well. So excited, guys. That's pretty much it for today. I hope that was helpful. Hope that was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And have a great rest of your day. See you tomorrow for the live stream. All right? Take care.